Here's a bit of an unusual idea, and that is how we're going to prioritize our kitchen. Even if you hate cooking, no room is more important than the kitchen, and I will die on that hill. This is the first place that we land when we get home. We drop our bags, we open the fridge, we snack standing up, and we prep food. We gather, we vent, we chat with friends, and yet it's also the room that so many of us women feel defeated in. Because when it is cluttered and the counters are covered, nothing has a home, our protein is buried, and crackers are front and center, it doesn't just look messy, it works against you. The kitchen island is not just a mail sorting facility, it's not a charging station, and it's not an Amazon return depot. It is supposed to help you cook, but instead we have got mail on the counter, 3 open snack bags, a blender that you don't use because you think it leaks, it's got that weird rubber gasket, random school papers, and one drawer that sounds like a maraca when you open it. And then we wonder why cooking feels overwhelming. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your kitchen setup. Now, I used to think that I needed more discipline. What I actually needed was better flow. I love all of this so much that I made a printable resource for you. So I'm sharing all of it, my simple mighty kitchen guide, how to set up your cupboards, your counters, your pantry, your fridge zones, the food rhythm that I personally follow. So you can grab that below if you want to follow along. All right, so let's fix this. So nothing stops prepping a healthy meal faster than stuff all over our counters. The mail, the dusty appliances, menus, food items, things that don't even belong in the kitchen. So the very first step is just to clear your surfaces nightly. Now you might be like, okay, I've heard that before, but it makes such a big difference. In the morning I do this, and I do this in the evening after, like right before everybody goes to bed. Maybe it shouldn't be my responsibility, but I do it anyway because it makes me feel better. So nothing lives on the island, nothing on any other counter surfaces. And if I don't have a space to chop, then I won't cook. But the barrier to having those clean surfaces is those homeless items. So step 2 is making sure everything has a home. All of the things that have a home should be in a logical spot. So we want all of our cooking utensils right next to the stove. We want our cups next to the kettle, near the fridge. Everything should be logical so you're not running all over the place looking for things. I also like to have things put away. I like to have appliances put away. I like to have everything that's not pretty much dangerous to put away or not an actual decor to put away. I do have my on-demand kettle and our soda stream and the coffee maker because those ones are almost like dangerous to put away. If you don't have the space and you have to have appliances out, there's nothing wrong with that, but try to be choosy about what is out. Like if it is dusty, you might not be using it, and maybe it doesn't have to be out. Now, if you don't have space for everything to have a home, maybe you have like cups on your counter, then maybe you need to remove the stuff that you don't use. So often we have things that are crammed in our cupboards that we don't use. I had a thing that was like designed to make cake layers like this, or you could do different sizes, but I never used it. It was a big box taking up so much space in my cupboards, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get rid of it. That made room for the things that I was using. So the third thing is to remove what doesn't belong. Decluttering still matters. Also, get rid of those expired sauces, duplicate gadgets, mystery appliances, or just things that you don't use. But don't clean before you cook. Make it easy. Wouldn't you just love to walk into your kitchen and just be drawn to an area that makes prep easy? So step 4 is to create a visible prep space. When the space invites you in, you will cook and maybe you will make healthier decisions. When it fights you, you order takeout. So here's the part I didn't talk about for years, and I am kicking myself because I have the knowledge. A clean kitchen without intentional food is just aesthetic. A room can be calm, but if it is not serving you and making you healthier, that's not good. Your energy won't shift until your input does, what you're putting in your body. Now, if I was going to tackle getting my kitchen in order using my handy dandy printable, here's what I would do. I would start first with the organization. Remove what doesn't belong. I would make sure everything has a home. I'd clear the surfaces nightly and make sure that there is a clear prep spot. Of course, I'd organize the fridge and the pantry as well, making sure that that healthy food is the most prominent. Trust me, there's way more in the printable. I just want to go over the basics so you actually have some things you can get started with right away. Next, we're going to talk about how to fuel. I want to make sure that I'm getting lots of protein. I also want to make sure that I still am getting the right carbohydrates and the right fats to fuel my body properly. This way, my kitchen is setting me up for success, and I am going to feel so good. Because life is so much better when your kitchen is in place. Because when your kitchen is under control and you're eating well, life is so much sweeter. Once my kitchen flowed, something became obvious. The room was calmer and easier to be in, but I was not a healthy eater. I enjoyed baking a lot of things in my nice clean kitchen, but fast forward some years and I was tired, I was not feeling well, and I decided I was going to take my health into my own hands. So I have actually made big progress, and I put my nursing research skills to the test, and I figured out what food fueled me and which helped me to feel healthy and stronger. Now, I don't eat perfectly. Okay, let me show you what I made yesterday. I made cinnamon rolls yesterday, and they were the best cinnamon rolls ever, but I usually eat pretty darn well, and I eat predictably. I eat a very similar breakfast, a very similar lunch every day. I do have, usually a different dinner and maybe slightly different lunch, not usually though. I also don't follow trends, so if it requires a complex supplement regime and a spreadsheet, I am out. I follow a few non-negotiables. So the very first thing that is so important, and again, you can get the printable with all of the stuff down below, but I make sure that I have a protein anchor. I want every single meal to have protein. A huge amount of the protein I eat is chicken. I also have a lot of salmon. I have protein powder with my breakfast. I don't shy away from it. I make sure that I have like a really good one that doesn't have like lead in it, which some can, because protein is so important. And as a former nurse, we would see so many people, especially if they had wounds, even like kids or seniors. Protein is so important for healing your body and for building muscle, all of the things. Protein, protein, protein. The next thing is fiber. I worked in endoscopy where we were doing colonoscopies all the time. Nothing made me be like, I need fiber more than that, let me tell you. But fiber also helps us sort of age better. It helps us prevent a lot of cancers or like slow down that prevention. I don't know how to say it. I don't want to make wild claims, but there is a lot of science behind that. Talk to your doctor. And it helps lose weight. It helps you feel full. Fiber is so good. It helps you with the bathroom. It's so good. Now, if I don't know what I'm eating, I start with protein, I start with fiber. Another thing that is so, so important is getting 5 vegetables in a day and maybe a little bit of fruit. So in my breakfast, I make sure that I have some raspberries with my protein powder. I also have my fiber in that. It is just delicious, and it helps me to sort of feel really good for the day. I am set up, right? And then for lunch, I usually have a salad. So I want to make sure that I get all of that in. It's not complicated. It is so easy. It can be visual, where you can just be like, okay, I have my protein, I have my fiber, I have my vegetables. Everything else is kind of just like icing on the cake. Yes, you do need carbohydrates, you do need fat, but not like outrageous amounts. Carbohydrates are great. I mean, I was working in the garden earlier because it was like so gorgeous, like earlier on the weekend. And it was very helpful for giving me energy. I always know before I go in the garden, I need a lot of carbohydrates, but I also have protein because it slows down the absorption and makes it last longer, and a little bit of fat, but you don't need that much, but it's good for your brain. So if I cook, I will double the protein, which makes it so much easier, which is a future me win, huzzah! And also, I want to make sure I get a lot of water. So if I can't see the water, I won't drink it. So in the kitchen, one of the things I want to talk about so much is that we have the stuff where we can see it. So I have my water over by my hydration station, as I like to call it. I have my protein front and center in the pantry down below. In the fridge, I have it front and center. And I also have like my vegetables, my fruits very in your face. The less healthy stuff is further away. So up in the top of the pantry is where we keep our junk food. Let me show you. So I never want to act like I'm some person who always has everything clean. It is not clean. I have got like my jars, which I need to take downstairs, but this is where the junk food lives. It is high up. It is hard for me to reach. I am 5'1.5", so it's hard for me to reach it, which is good. And I mean, even like my husband and my kids, they have to work a little bit for it. Even like the peanuts are good for you, but there's a lot of fat in it, so you don't want to eat a lot of it. Down here, you know what? I'm going to pull this out and declutter it. That was an old thing of zucchini noodles that I freeze dried, and I am not going to use them. So there you go. This is the protein powder that I use. Not sponsored, but it is front and center. It is right down here because it's bulky and it's easier for me to grab. And then right here, this is the fiber supplement that I use, and it is delicious. It's got flax seeds in it. It has got, I think, chia. It's just all food, but it's just like healthy fiber food. And that is right there. My chia seeds right here. I emptied it this morning. I've got to fill that up. That's part of it. So all of it is like very easy to reach. And it's the same with the stuff in the fridge. Make it easy to reach. So as I mentioned, the treat section, it's not banned, it's contained. I don't want to rely on willpower and motivation so much. I want to rely on setup, because at 9 p.m. when I am tired, I'm not making aspirational choices. It's much easier if I am just like, you know what, there's my kettle, there's my chamomile tea right there, I will make that. Your kitchen should make the right choice, the easy choice. And none of what works in the fridge is chaos. Protein is, if your protein is buried behind sauces and leftovers from last Tuesday, that is not good. You're not choosing it. You need it at the front. So here's how I set it up. Protein at eye level. We have the washed produce visible. Leftovers, actually my produce right now, because it still is a little bit of winter, I have some fridge pickles that I made, just some cucumbers cut up in delicious vinegary water. It's delicious. I like to have the clear containers. It looks so easy. The pantry, the whole foods visible, snacks contained, no duplicates, no mystery items shoved in the back. That's how we're organizing things. Again, we're not looking for the willpower and not less friction. Not only have I watched too many women trying to willpower their way through midlife, I have been that woman. My husband was like, there's more of those, right? I was like, they are hidden. I made them for the boys. I've watched what stress and neglect do to us over time. We don't need more pressure. We need better systems. We just need to set, that's like one of the things I talk about so often is in my triage, simplify, organize, thrive. It's the systems that help life go. The kitchen isn't just about dishes, it's about energy, it's about strength. This is the room that should support you in reaching your goals and in being healthy. Even if you were a person who's trying to build muscle or lose fat, a lot of people will say, you know, gains aren't made in the kitchen, they're revealed in the kitchen. So you need to like get a little bit of walking in, do some exercise. And this channel right now, it's all about making that second half of our life, the 40 plus, not harder, but easier. Fix the flow, then fix the input. You don't need a full life overhaul. You need a kitchen that works for you. I have the exact layout, the fridge map, the pantry setup, the food checklist I use. Grab the Mighty Kitchen guide below. Your mighty home, it starts in the kitchen, and a mighty kitchen, it supports your strength. Let's build it on purpose. I had some huge lessons that I learned, not just in home with my own research, but also working in the emergency department. I put all of that here in this video, and I think it is so valuable for all of us over 40 gals. I hope something great happens for you today. Please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.